welcome to Nationwide News. I am Moulidatu Nazri.
And I am Athirah Rahman.
Today, we will cover topic related to unemployment rate and inflation rate in Bangladesh.
First of all, we are going to introduce the President of Bangladesh, Muhammad. Muhammad Abdul Hamid, President of Bangladesh, born in 1 January 1944. He was elected as President in April 2013 and re-elected to his current second term in 2018 after the death of Rahman in March 2013.
He started his early education in village primary school and then joined Bayrap KB Pilot High School for secondary education.
And for the next, let's move to the Bangladesh money currency. Bangladesh money currency is Bangladeshi Taka, which the code is BTD. Meanwhile, the currency symbol is TK. There are two types of notes, which are banknotes and coins. And as you can see on the screen, these are the example of Bangladeshi Taka notes. And right now, let's proceed to the populations. In 2019, the population estimated as 168 million compared to 2013, which was only 158 million. The demographic shows that the total of populations in Bangladesh dominated by male followed by female population.
Next, I will explain the economic sector in Bangladesh. According to the statistics shows that share of the economic sector in the gross domestic product in Bangladesh from 2007 until 2017. The most important sector of Bangladesh economy is dominated by service, then it followed by industry sector and agriculture sector. For GDP of Bangladesh grew 7.9% in 2019. Compared to the last year, this rate is third of the 1% higher than the figure of 7.6% published in the 2017.
Inflation is a quantitative measure of the rate at which the average price level of a basket of selected goods and services in an economy increases over a period of time. It is the constant rise in the general level of prices where a unit of currency buys less than it did in prior periods. Often expressed as a percentage, inflation indicates a decrease in the purchasing power of a nation's currency.
To keep inflation within permissible limit and keep the economy running smoothly. Inflation is measured in a variety of ways depending upon the types and goods services considered and is the opposite of deflation, which indicates a general decline occurring in prices for goods and services when the inflation rate falls below 0%. To combat this, a country's appropriate monetary authority, like the central bank, then takes the necessary measure to keep inflation within the permissible limits.
Based on chart above, we can clearly see that inflation rate in 2011 is the highest compared to others. Meanwhile, the lowest rate is in 2001. Based on graph, the rate was increasing from year 2002 until 2005, but then the rate decreased a little bit from 2006. Then the rate increased in year 2007 but decreased from 2008 until 2009. The rate was increased again from 2010 until 2013. Also in 2014 was a decrease. Then 2015 until 2018 the rate was the same until the year after that, and in the present the rate was just in average.
The report cited food and the upward adjustment of administered petroleum and electricity price, growth in money supply, increased cost of production including wage rate and exchange rate depreciations as major cause of inflation in Bangladesh. While the contribution of food inflation to overall inflation has declined from 75 0.8% to 64% in FY 2012. Non-food inflation exceeds food inflation in the first 7 months of FY 2012, due to a full price hike and the domino effect it had on the other sector, including transportation and housing. CPD suggested a careful assessment of the extent of exchange rate pass-through into selling price of imported food and food, as sellers are blaming higher imported costs for the price hike in imported food.
The monetary policy stance of the Bangladesh Bank for FY 2012 assumed inflation control as its core objective, sacrificing economic growth and investment prospects. CPD's report states that it presents monetary policies supporting the restriction of money supply have been of limited success, as they are more suited for demand pull inflation. CPD's report also says that this may actually be counterproductive for other natures of inflation.
Most countries primarily rely on monetary policy to control inflation. When inflation beyond an acceptable level is taking place, the country's central bank can increase the interest rate, which typically will tend to slow or stop the growth of the money supply. Some central banks have a symmetrical inflation target, while others only control inflation when it rises above a threshold, whether publicly disclosed or not. Higher interest rates reduce the economy's money supply because fewer people seek loans. When banks make loans, the loan proceeds are generally deposited in bank accounts that are part of the money supply. Therefore, when a person pays back a loan and no other loans are made to replace it, the amount of bank deposits and hence the money supply decrease.
Unemployment occurs when a person who is actively searching for employment is unable to find work. Unemployment is often used as a measure of the health of the economy. The most frequent measure of unemployment rate, which is the number of unemployed people divided by the number of people in the labor force.
Based on the chart displayed, we can clearly see that unemployment rate in 2009 is the highest compared to others, which is 5%. Meanwhile, the lowest rate is in 2000, which is 3.27%, had decreased until below 4%.
Bangladesh is one of the countries which has tremendous unemployment problem. Study has found that unemployment rate in Bangladesh average is 3.86% from 2000 until 2018, reaching an all-the-time high of 5% in 2010. The higher unemployment rate happens when their citizens are increasing each year. The fact is, despite satisfactory growth, Bangladesh economy is developing a cavity in the labor market. So now we will pass the report to our interviewer, Noor and Natasha.
I will Professor Dr. Shakir, Aiman, an economic analyzer, to ask a few questions about Bangladesh economic analysis. So, Prof, what is the causes of highest unemployment rate in Bangladesh?
Recently, the United States unemployment rate has hit 3.9%. By contrast, the unemployment rate in Bangladesh is now possibly one of the highest, particularly among the educated youth. Most citizens in Bangladesh, especially among youth, are facing the problem in order to find a job. One of the causes of higher unemployment rate is because of there are limited job opportunities offered in their region. Most citizens from Bangladesh are staying in Malaysia to search for jobs from any industry because there is higher job opportunities offered.
So, Prof, in
Another question regarding this topic: what are the causes of lowest unemployment rate in Bangladesh?
Okay, one of the reasons is also because effective education. The day-to-day education is very effective and is confirmed within the classroom only. Its main aim is to acquire certificate only. The present educational system is not job-oriented, it is degree-oriented. Thus, the people who have getting general education are unable to do any work. They are to be called as good for nothing in the ground that they cannot have any job here. They can find ways of self-employment. It leads to unemployment as well as underemployment.
Thank you, Prof, for your time and cooperation. So that's all from me. Let's head back to the studio.
So, in conclusion, overall of this topic, a given country is a result of a set of processes that involve its cultures, value, education, technological, evolution, structure and legal system, as well as its geography, natural resources, endowment and ecology as a main factor.
In other words, the economic domain is a social domain of human practices and transactions. It does not stand alone. So that's all for our news today. Have a good day.
Assalamualaikum.